maybe I will totally focus on AWS SageMaker for now. Okay. So what is AWS SageMaker? First question which will pop in your head is what is AWS SageMaker? Okay. So I'll not get into theoretical aspect and I will directly tell you. So this is the service which is being provided you by AWS, and this service, in this service what you will get is you can build all the models, okay, all the machine learning, deep learning models, okay, and you can train them and you can deploy them, okay, using this AWS SageMaker service, okay. So what you will do, or up till now what you are doing in this course, you are making maybe you are collecting your data, and then after that you are making model on that data, you are doing hyperparameter tunings and different thing, data cleaning and stuff, okay. Then you are trying to apply different models, then you are choosing which model will be good. After that you are maybe going to check if that model is overfitting, underfitting, and after that you are trying to increase the accuracy of the model, and after that if you were satisfied with maybe the results, then what you were doing, you were trying to deploy that model, okay. This thing you were doing locally, okay. Now if you want to do all these things in the fly, then you have to use AWS SageMaker, okay, to be very fair. What you will do in AWS SageMaker is it will provide you some of the resources to build, train, and deploy your ML models. Okay, it provides you many other things, but uh, this is how we can maybe get a gist of it. Okay, so I'll go to the Amazon SageMaker. Uh, what you can do is you can go to maybe first you will have to open your AWS account. If you don't have an AWS account, then you have to make one. um, okay, and maybe I have uh, given you this step how to make a free AWS account, and if you don't know that, I will attach one video from the previous module, which is AWS basic. From there I will attach one video over here, and that will maybe help you. Okay, so uh, this is my name. Okay, this is my name, and this is the reason uh, which I'm choosing where my machine will be located. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm renting all these machines uh, using AWS cloud. Okay, and all these machines are running on AWS cloud. Okay, so I don't need any much resources to run these machines. I only need a good internet connection and a browser to access these things. Okay, so how all this is happening, Amazon have different like on earth, Amazon is having different data centers, and inside those data centers there are those are heavy centric machines which are maybe located there inside their data center, and from there we are renting some part of the machines. Okay, so like this, why this is very useful, because like this you can maybe uh, you don't need to buy different GPUs, different storage unit as per your demand. What you can do is you can directly rent them. Okay, so you can rent resources from AWS. Okay, so what I'll do is what you have to do, you have to go for Amazon Web Services AWS. You have to type on your search bar like this AWS and then .com, and then you have to just enter. Okay, then you have to log in. Okay, wait, I maybe I'll show you whole process, that will be helpful for you. Okay, so that's the cloud computing services. This is aws.amazon.com. Okay, so here you have to maybe log in. Okay, so it is still loading. When you will log in, you will be redirected to this kind of console. Here nothing will be shown like this because I have used these services previously, then maybe that's why these services are here. Okay, so what you have to do is either you have to go to this services section. Okay, in this services section you have to find for maybe mm, pagemaker. or it will be very hard to find SageMaker from here. Then what you can do is you can go to this thing, this search bar. Here you can search SageMaker. Okay, so if you'll type here SageMaker, this is the search result you are getting. You have to click on it. Okay, if you click on it, it will redirect you to Amazon SageMaker service. Okay, so the main focus of Amazon SageMaker is build, train, and deploy machine learning models in the fly. Okay, you need not to bother much. You need not to do hyperparameter tuning because hyperparameter tuning is a redundant process. You need to maybe it's a try and error process. So AWS SageMaker have some of the algorithms which will do that for you. You need not to worry much about that. And again, AWS Amazon engineers have done uh, some of the great jobs in making those algorithms lean and very precise. You can use those algorithms in the fly, okay, and they are maybe much more time saving.
It's
Then
6 o'clock.
you will get those algorithms in scikit-learn and other. Okay. So these are some of the use case, or maybe some of the profit, or maybe some of the what we can say plus point to use AWS SageMaker. Okay. So and yeah, of course, this whole thing is in the cloud. You can use it from anywhere if you have net access. Okay. So uh, the one thing which I was trying to tell you is what you have to do is you have to go to AWS Amazon .com to this link. Okay, you have to go to this link, and after going to this link, what you have to do is you have to sign in. Okay, you have to click on sign in. Then you have to sign in, and if you have an account, you can go with sign in, or if you don't have an account, you can go with create an AWS account. So if you'll click, just I have clicked on this button that is create an AWS account. So yeah, of course I've clicked it. It is loading. Okay, then in parallel I am telling you how to make one account with AWS. Okay, so AWS console sign up console is coming. Okay, so here you have to maybe go with the flow. Okay, so uh, you have to put your role. You can maybe sign into the console or contact. You can write here your role. Maybe are you application architect, business analyst, data scientist, or whatsoever you are. Okay. So let just have written over entrepreneurs, and I am interested in maybe AI and ML, and then I'll submit it. Okay. If I'll submit it, then it will maybe give me one more thing to do that will be sign into check your text daily create contact sign in to the console. Okay, so it is giving me the option to sign into the console, and because my credentials are saved, so that's why it is giving me all this thing. Okay, so what you have to do is you need not to maybe uh, go with this option. What you have to do, you simply have to sign in from there. Okay, then you have to give it your card details, and it will maybe cut 1 or 2 rupees to make sure that's a valid card, and after that everything will be okay. Okay, so that's the thing. Then if you'll open all of this console. Okay, so while opening I told you you will get this AWS maybe main home page. Okay, in that home page first you have to choose for your location. Okay, where your machine will run. Okay, so what AWS is providing you, it is providing you a like in brief, if you want to understand it, it is providing you different resources to make a computer, and that computer will be online. Okay, that computer will be in the cloud. You cannot touch that computer. Okay, and the best thing is maybe you can demand resources. Maybe you can demand uh, which type of operating system you want to work on, which how much maybe storage you want, or maybe which kind of storage you want. That may be SSD, or that may be mm, that may be HDD. Okay, and after that, if you want to make some uh, firewalls, or maybe if you want to do something like that, you can use VPCs, virtual private cloud, and things. There are a plethora of other things to maybe go with, but for now, what you have to do is you have to go to this search bar. Okay, first you have to go here and you have to select Asia Pacific Mumbai. It comes with a code of AP South 1. Okay, so you have to click it. So what you are telling AWS is you want to rent something which is in Asia Pacific region. Okay, so whatsoever you will rent, that will be in the location of Asia Pacific. Okay, so after doing that, you can see Mumbai written over there after your name. Okay, over here you have to focus. You will find Mumbai over here, and after that, maybe your may zoom it a bit so that it will be visible. Okay, so after doing all this, you have selected the region where maybe you will launch your services and stuff. Then here you have to come to the search bar, and here you have to write SageMaker. Okay, SageMaker. Okay, so just I'm repeating this step so that maybe you will be able to uh, connect the dots. Then you have to click on this Amazon SageMaker option. Okay, so as you can read over here, I will zoom it. That's the build, train, and deploy machine learning models. Okay, that's the main aim of this SageMaker. You will build the model, you will train the model, and then you will deploy them. Maybe deploy them to maybe used by any third party applications for your business applications or maybe your startup applications. Okay, so that's maybe that totally depends upon you, but the main focus is to show you, okay, to show you how to maybe build, train, and apply ML models using AWS SageMaker. Okay, that's the crux, that's the core on which AWS SageMaker works. Okay, and there are many other plethora of concepts, like there are studio labs, there are R studio for maybe R programmers, then there are studio. Okay, the lab means you need to understand there will be some more maybe tools which will be downloaded, and you need not to download them, and again there will be some more uh, things which will be previously downloaded, and studio is something where you have to download many of the things. Okay, say it like this. uh, these are only jargons, and there are some maybe some differences which I have told you. And R studio I have told you that's totally for the guy who are good with maybe R programming language. Okay, then you have SageMaker dashboard, images search. Then you have ground truth, notebook, processing, training. Let me zoom it. Training, inference, augmented AI. We will not get into augmented AI. And then AWS Marketplace, we will not get into it. Okay. Then we have our focus, our main focus will be notebook, processing, training. Okay. Then inferences, I will maybe uh, try to uh, make some of the endpoints, and we will use inferences too. Let's see. Uh, then it is processing. Maybe it will take time, and then I will maybe in that time I will try to show you uh, how a typical workflow with AWS SageMaker looks like. Okay, so what we are doing right now is we are integrating SageMaker with AWS API gateway and AWS Lambda. So first you need to understand what is API. Okay, so API, see API as an waiter. Okay, waiter in a restaurant. So what it does is the waiter comes to you and it asks you for the maybe for what you want to eat, and then it sends that detail. Maybe you said I want to eat a burger, so it will send that detail to the chef. Okay, because chef and you cannot talk, because maybe chef is inside and he cannot talk. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. API is a then API is a waiter. Okay, so API work as like, why to use APIs then? Because maybe what your softwares, your programs can be in different language. Okay, and so sometimes it is hard to maybe make a good connection with different applications. Maybe you are having an application written in Python and you are having an application written in Go. So both languages are different. So how those languages will interact with each other. So API will come into picture. Okay. So API will maybe help them to share their core information with each other. Okay, and API will try to maybe uh, try to make the work done. Okay, then you have Lambda, and then you have SageMaker endpoints. Okay, so what will happen is I have given you a simple workflow over here. Okay, so let's say this is your application, then the application is exposed to API gateway, and API gateway is connected with Lambda functions, and Lambda functions are connected with SageMaker endpoints. Okay, so you have created a model and you have created endpoint for that model. Now Lambda function is accessing that endpoint, and API gateway is accessing Lambda function, and API gateway is maybe it is uh, uh, interacting with maybe it is a gateway between the application and Lambda function. Okay, so it's a guy who is maybe making the contact possible between Lambda function and application. Okay, so as I told you, application can be made in maybe JavaScript or which language, any language, and then Lambda function will totally work on maybe Python for now, because SageMaker endpoint will be uh, a model, and that model we are making using Python. So you can see it like this. Okay, and then API, what API will do is API will make good interaction between applications and Lambda functions. Okay, so that's the thing. Now that was gist of it. uh, just I took some example to maybe make sure that you will understand the concept. This is how maybe one application works. One application uh, which is having maybe some of the machine learning models running behind it. Okay, then our main focus will be how to build and train model in SageMaker. Okay, first thing, this is the core, build and train model in SageMaker. Then maybe to show you, and maybe this is how you will be able to apply these learnings in real world scenario. Then I'll show you how to deploy uh, train model to SageMaker hosting services. Okay, then here we are doing the deployment. First we have built and trained the model, then we will deploy this to SageMaker hosting services, and then what we will do is, then we will maybe uh, what we will do is we will expose it to the REST API, and then we will try to integrate deployed model with external applications. Okay, to this thing. Okay, so what REST API will do, it will try to integrate deploy model with external applications. So deployed model with the external application, this is the user API. So in doing this, what we will do, we will use AWS API gateways and AWS Lambda, so it will be covered. Okay, then uh, what the next we will try to get into is managing security and scalability in SageMaker. Okay, so security is a big issue because sometimes you have uh, some part of data which you cannot expose, like banking data. Okay, and then you have made some model on it, then someone can maybe access your banking data and kind of stuff. Okay, and sometimes scalability is the big issue. Say you have made one model which works on maybe uh, IoT data. Okay, every time the sensor is producing some kind of data. So what you have done is you have made maybe a, a process for it, and inside that process you are deciding that every after every 1 hour your model will run, and maybe it will give some results after every 1 hour. Okay, so here you will require scalability, because sometime maybe some human is working in the morning much. Okay, so he maybe go for a jog in the morning for maybe 1 hour. Okay, so that time IoT device will generate more data, and in the maybe in while he is working, maybe in his working hours he is not working much, so IoT device will not produce much data at that time. Okay, So that time your demand for the storage of data will be less. So you need to consider scalability over there. Here the concept of S3 bucket will come. So S3 bucket is nothing but you can say uh, it's a storing unit. Okay, so again it has S3 bucket has 6 classes, and the classes are totally depends upon how much data you can store inside them. Okay, so we will discuss S3 buckets too in maybe in future, and so this is it. And now you must be thinking that yes, our focus is this, then what will be the outcome? So you will be ready to create ML model in AWS SageMaker for your own use cases, and maybe you can integrate model with your own or any company you are working for. You will be able to integrate your models to those applications. Okay, so uh, that's the maybe that will be the outcome. Okay, so you will be able to work in real life scenarios after maybe going through all of this stuff. So this is all for this maybe session.